This is Goku-san, DBZ, and welcome back. Late, I know, for recording Top 10 Sunday, since it's about 30 after 7, but here, better late than ever. Originally, I was going to do a special Top 10 list of 10 of my favorite Blu-ray movies, since I did the Showing Collection earlier, but instead, I decided since today, I officially downloaded Pokemon Go app. I thought, in honor, I would count down 10 of the top Pokemon video games. Now, this includes, of course, side games, anything with the title Pokemon on. So it doesn't matter which console, handheld, regular console, doesn't matter. Excluding, of course, the app, because it's not really a normal, traditional game, obviously. Here they are. Of course, as always, I'll do honorable mentions before number 1. Coming in at number 10. For the Nintendo DS, Pokemon Black 2 and Pokemon White 2. Yep, Black 2 and White 2, which is the first ever direct sequel to a actual Pokemon game. The first and actually only time this has ever happened, to be fair. Which is one thing that makes it actually quite interesting. Now, I personally have not played Pokemon White or Black, so needless to say, I haven't played 2, because what's the point in playing the sequel if you never played the original? Eventually, I plan on getting it, and I probably need to get it while the price is more efficient, a little bit cheaper price-wise range, before it jumps, up above 30-some dollars. Well, it's in the 20-some range. But yes, that's in at number 10. So obviously, this is not my personal opinion, since I never even played this game. This is based on, now my opinion only makes it one vote, based on opinions from here on YouTube, looking at people's comments on reviews and things, positive response. Also based on, taking into account some sales overall of copies sold, as well as opinions from Facebook and Google+, and Twitter, of course. And coming in at number 9 is, for the Game Boy Advance, Pokemon Emerald, which technically was a special game, but for a third-dairy game, it's still really popular and stuff. And some people keep it away, though technically it also goes hand in hand with Ruby and Sapphire, obviously. Anywho, and yes, that actually will also includes the original Sapphire and Ruby with Emerald, anyways, at number 9. Coming in at number 8 was released for the GameCube, and it is called Pokemon Colosseum, which you would have expected it being like a next-gen Pokemon Stadium game, like Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 on the N64, but instead, similar to that, but also has elements of actual role-playing, like from the Game Boy game, combined with it. It was the first, somewhat to an extent, next-gen Pokemon game with full 3D environments and things. Now, I personally only played bits and pieces of the game on my friend's GameCube, because I've never owned a Nintendo GameCube. I probably eventually need to, especially before games like Colosseum skyrockets in price. It's already getting up there. But from what I did play, I would say the gameplay overall is solid. It's a little short, to be fair. It's not nearly as long as the other Pokemon games. But it's still a very interesting game, I will say, compared to other Pokemon games out there. It's kind of refreshing and different. It's just too bad it wasn't more difficult overall, and it didn't last longer. But overall, it was a solid game. Coming in at number 7, for the Nintendo DS, Pokemon Black and White, which of course is the first, which I've mentioned of course before, with 2 coming in at 10. Coming at 7 is the first Black and White, which are considered to be some solid games and really good gameplay that wasn't next-gen graphics like, say, X and Y. But still, it was good, pretty big. Now, opinions seem to be mixed on this particular Pokemon game. Don't forget, Anyways, coming in at number 6 on the Nintendo 64 is the original Pokemon Stadium, which was, of course, the very first full 3D Pokemon game, though. You didn't go around travel and stuff. You just built your way up the ranks and could get the badges and stuff in the game, sort of like the Game Boy game, but it wasn't a full game like the Game Boy. However, there was, of course, a plug-in device you could plug into your controller, put in your red, blue, or yellow version of the game, and use your group, your customized group from the Game Boy game onto the Nintendo 64, which was actually a really cool idea, and that's one of the reasons why Pokemon has stayed around, because of smart marketing. Though it's never really evolved too much, except maybe in the graphics department, gameplay-wise. There's really not much of a change in the game mechanics over all the years. Coming in at number 6 is number 5, for the Nintendo 3DS, it is Pokemon X and Y, which I mentioned, of course, is the full 3D environmental game for handheld devices. The first actual full 3D game in the series. And from everything I've been told, it's a little bit easier than some of the older games. I'm not sure why they decided to lower the difficulty somewhat, but from what I understood overall, it actually has a very interesting story arc to things in the mythos or mythology of the Pokemon world, because they have over the years not just built a franchise, but built really an entire universe between all the games and the anime series and everything. Coming in at number 4 is for the Nintendo DS, and it is actually a game that probably not too many people have played overall. It had minor success in America and Europe, not great success now in Japan. It was super successful. And it was a strategy type Pokemon game, which is actually interesting. And it takes place during the era of the Tokugawa shogunate, during the era of the shoguns in Japan. It's sort of like Pokemon meets Final Fantasy Tactics, the way the gameplay works. It's more of a tactical RPG of sorts. It's very unique and different from most of the other games in the Pokemon franchise. And that's one thing I think I find interesting and refreshing. But unfortunately, it did not catch on here in the West. It was only really successful over in Japan, where they appreciated the experimenting with other battle mechanics, unlike other Pokemon games in the franchise. Coming in at number 3 for the N64, Pokemon Stadium 2, which is, of course, basically the same as the first game, though, of course, like the game Gold, Silver, and, of course, Crystal. It takes place in the Johto region rather than in the darn it, don't you hate it when you forget the names of all the regions? I mean, there's so many freaking regions now in the Pokemon universe. Kanto. And it also has all the 100 new Pokemon from those games on the Game Boy Color. So you have your Neo Pokemon, as they called it at that time, combined with your original 151. So you had 251, if you will. And of course the introduction of new Pokemon like the Mystic Wolves. Like in the first set of groups, you had obviously mystical creatures like Mew, Zapdos, Articuno, Moltres. In this new mythology, they of course brought Ho-Oh, Lugia, as well as Suicune, Raikou, and of course Entei, which are interestingly named after ancient mythological creatures and gods, which I find interesting. If you look at a lot of the mythology in Pokemon, it's based off of real-world mythology. Coming in at number 2 is for the Game Boy Color. And it was something I was just talking about, and that is Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal, which are hands down, easily, maybe hands down the strongest, best sequel game in the franchise, Generation 2. Now, some would consider it probably the best, and I understand because you get to play all the 8 new Johto League gyms, plus once you beat all of that and face the guy from the first generation of Pokemon at the top of Mount Silver, which is really fascinating, and of course that being red, but it's definitely got a lot to it given the time frame when it came out. It's insane how massive the game was. You're talking 100 plus hours, and you don't get that in a lot of games today. Honorable mentions: Pokemon Platinum, Pokemon Trading Card Game, Pokemon, Dash, Pokemon Ranger, Pokemon Rumble Blast, Hey You Pikachu, and of course, Pokemon Snap, coming in at number 1. Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, Pikachu Edition. Generation 1 comes in number 1. Why? Because it's the one who started the whole franchise, and of course got awesome redone versions. Fire Red and Leaf Green, strangely enough, they didn't do a blue remake instead, which of course the original green was never released in America, so you didn't have that in Generation 1, just red and blue. And of course, Yellow Pikachu Edition for the fans of the cartoon series, which it's the best game, easily, because you can eventually get Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Charmander, all 3 starters, which you couldn't get in the other games. You could only choose one. Plus, of course, you started with Pikachu. So you have an awesome lineup right there alone. Many reasons why Yellow is the superior game of Generation 1, because it had a few more advantages on the lineup of Pokemon you could get. But anyways, thumbs up this video, please like, subscribe, follow me at twitter.com/GokuSunDBZ. Leave a comment below telling me what your favorite Pokemon game is of the enormous Pokemon franchise, which is now the second best-selling game franchise of all time, next to Mario, which I find fascinating. And here's a piece of music to say goodbye to. I'm going to try, as long as I can remember, to do this from now on all the time, as long as I don't get, of course, a third-party match, because I don't want to strike on my YouTube channel, obviously. But here is, since I am GokuSunDBZ, it's only right to do the original theme music of Dragon Ball Z, which this is the version I remember the best. Kamehameha. Well. See you next time. Remember, same YouTube time, same YouTube channel.